Tzu Chi cooperates with Hsinchu County government for summer nutrition program for children. Pandemic caused food insecurity as Tzu Chi's Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter initiate food care. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is the Eye Headlines. Let's get started. The Tzu Chi Foundation signed a memorandum of cooperation with the Hsinchu County government to launch a summer nutrition relief program for children, sending daily supplies to homes of disadvantaged school children. The packing of materials was recently carried out in the auditorium of the Hsinchu County government. Take a look.
The one-stop production line has maintained social distancing. This time, Tzu Chi has chosen the auditorium of Hsinchu County government as the supplies packaging site.
Our Hsinchu County government has signed a contract with the Tzu Chi Foundation, sharing social responsibility together.
The government staff also came to participate in packaging work. There are a variety of dry food, instant food, and 2 packs of 10 kilograms of white rice in the bags, along with a box of fine mint products to be delivered to the households.
Because it's produced locally, its carbon footprint will be relatively small. It can also help the farmers in the area.
The cost of all materials is about $3,880. The reason for providing such a variety of supplies is that the Hsinchu County government found that due to the pandemic, the number of school children's families who lack food has increased.
In July, we only had 1,478 households in need. In August, we found that it has 234 households more.
Hsinchu Tzu Chi volunteers work hard for the task of packing because at the beginning of the Level 3 alert, the packing of living boxes was coordinated by Hualien Jinse Board. A photo of masters waiting on the bag moved the volunteers.
The county magistrate felt very touched after seeing a picture of the masters at Jinse Abode packed with sweat all over their bodies. He asked me if they can take the mission because they have signed a memorandum of cooperation with Tzu Chi.
It is a basic need for people to fill their stomachs. The weight of living bugs is enough for a family of 5 to eat for a month. The families with more than 6 people can apply for an extra box. It is hoped that the supplies can help disadvantaged families through this pandemic.
Single mother Du Ting-Xian raises 6 children alone. She left her abusive husband and settled in Geelong. As she suffers financial difficulty, her children were often left neglected. As a school teacher found out about their condition and provided them with 1 year of breakfast. Tzu Chi also helped clean up their house and accompany the children.
Thank you, Teacher Chen Chen, for helping me. If it were not for the encouragement, I won't hold on until now.
Her words of gratitude are endless. Last October, when volunteers visited her, there were only her children's noise and her sign of despair.
She needs to raise 6 children on her own. Without stable income, she didn't know how to educate her children, as she was gloomy and depressed. She always drank alcohol.
Her eldest son is only grade 4, while the youngest one is only 3 years old. Without fixed income, she left her abusive husband as her heart was not settled. It just happened that a teacher of her daughter saw her fragile situation.
I basically care about the children's safety. After all, they are all under 12 years old and have to be taken care of. After settling their safety and their basic needs in living, even their education issues are not settled. I found that their living environment needed to be dealt with. I really appreciate Tzu Chi's help at that time.
The teacher volunteers to provide 1 year of breakfast for them and also daily necessities. Tzu Chi mothers taught the children how to organize housework and solve the problem of hair lice. There are also enthusiastic Tzu Chi sisters who come to read with them.
The kids need to take care of their siblings. Basically, I think they're pretty obedient. They just lack a good example to follow.
As soon as the pandemic control measures started, 2 large boxes of food and living supplies were delivered.
These boxes are of great help to us.
The teacher accompanied the mother with love and care, helping her tide over this difficult moment.
It's admirable that the children are very warm and caring. My contribution not only allowed them to study and be healthy, as true value is much beyond that.
Among the COVID-19 patients being treated at Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, some of them choose to drink Jingse herbal tea as a supplement. The hospital's medical team has observed a decrease in their viral load as well as inflammation. Let's learn more.
Among the COVID-19 patients treated at Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, some of them drink Jingse herbal tea as supplement, while some patients continue to drink it even after they have been discharged from the hospital. With the patient's consent, the medical team observes how the herbal tea drinkers and non-drinkers differ in their amount of virus and inflammation reaction.
In terms of lowering the amount of virus, the Jingse herbal tea drinkers have a faster rate. The second observation is that patients who drink Jingse herbal tea lower their inflammation faster.
Patients who drink Jingse herbal tea do not have skin allergy, kidney metabolism, or heart and lung problems. The medical team will conduct more researches to have a further understanding of the effects of drinking Jingse herbal tea.
A teacher once said that a doctor can only save one patient at a time, but if a public health official does a good job, one could save a large group of people. This influenced Chen Junbo as a young student who has since gone on to work in public health for the past 18 years. Now this person is finding public health training very useful when it comes to the promotion of vaccinations amongst the public during the COVID pandemic. Take a look.
这次是 COVID-19， 然后里面有病毒，还有医护人员，他在想要怎么消灭病毒，用酒精对抗病毒。爸爸很好。
好。6月初的时候。
In early June, we saw a batch of vaccines coming from Japan. It's finally here. It's our job. I often tell my colleagues that it is time for us to put in our efforts because this is what we can do.
Chen Junbo graduated from the Department of Public Health of Tzu Chi University and has been serving in Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital for 18th year.
大概就是你现在看到这个篮球。
We told him 2 days ago that we would set up a station. 2 days later, he immediately called a group of people who were very professional, including the medical team, a work team, and also pre-work, which was great, really great.
大家好，那个我们就很快再顺一下那个流程了哈。目前早上是412，蛮悬殊的了哈。早上是412。
我们确定说他红糖没大也不补吗？
补，我们补，这个先 U 比起来了哈。
明天他也是1点半。1点半啊，
要开某天车去。好 ，OK。那个到时候玉晶跟建颖这边量体温的时候，我们应该我在猜他们应该是同一个园所会一起过来了。
今天打莫德纳。
对，今天
国中疫苗一样。
对，我们稍微等一下哈，稍微等一下。啊，这边教育处会先审核身份哈。
In fact, Junbo is very hardworking and plays a coordinating role. He has the courage to take responsibility and take on many roles. He has such characteristics. If there is something or business that needs assistance, he says, okay, I will handle it. He coordinated with many units and then quickly completed this very important work.
一听吗？一听，我军博。现在到今天为止，15场次，8945人。 8945因为现在还在精算一下明天的那个人力跟。
Because I'm still calculating the manpower needed for tomorrow and estimating how many people come in every hour. In many sessions, the notice may have been received the night before, maybe late at night. I received a notice from the Health Bureau that they would add another session. It may be necessary to coordinate the manpower and dispatch the supplies the next day. On the 3rd day and the 4th day, we have to set off and get ready. The time is actually very tight.
时间其实都很紧凑。
He will still come back for dinner. Sometimes he will get home after 7 or 8 o'clock, and then we may not be able to have dinner with them. I will set dishes aside for him. Because I also study public health, I think it's good to be able to apply what we have learned during the pandemic. Public health has always been his profession, and we are also proud of him, although we know that he is working very hard.
In the education process of Tzu Chi University, we really learn that we can see the difference in life in dark corners so that we can cherish what we have more. The pandemic has caused many people in Malaysia to become unemployed, making it hard for them to afford food. To respond to this crisis, Tzu Chi's Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter initiated a special food care program to distribute food and vegetables to families in need. Let's take a look.
Volunteers were planning the distribution venue and flow. The community food care program was going to be hosted in Sudan community. Apart from Tzu volunteers, there were members of the public coming to contribute.
I
think in this unusual period, if we are able to give, even though it's just a little effort, it will inspire others to have this kind of love.
Seeing Tzu Chi has been giving during this pandemic, I'm very moved. So my wife and I decided to join Tzu Chi again. I think this is a kind of responsibility, a social responsibility for me to contribute.
I don't have a job, still looking for it. I also went for an interview, but now, because of the pandemic, we're also very difficult.
Volunteers also delivered the supplies to the people who cannot come to collect in person.
Because he is a disabled person, he can't come here to collect the supplies. So I'm delivering the supplies to him.
Okay, boleh. So ini kira barang yang bagi you punya lah. Oh.
The fruits and vegetables were delivered in time to alleviate the immediate hardship, helping each other in this most difficult time.
In Malaysia, the government is speeding up COVID vaccinations, hoping to help the residents fight the pandemic. Besides Kuala Lumpur Jingsa Hall vaccination station, Tzu Chi volunteers also provide services at other vaccination stations to help the public fight the pandemic. Let's take a look.
Starting on June 14th, MIECC in Selangor has joined the National COVID vaccination program, becoming a vaccination station.
As a medical service organization, I think we should do our share. So we only have one goal, and that is to help out Malaysians to reach herd immunity.
Under the pandemic, Tzu Chi volunteers are supporting different vaccination stations, hoping to speed up the rate of vaccination.
This time we're working with other organizations and different organizations. There are Optimax volunteers and Lion Club. We're adjusting all the time. As every person comes to the new venue, he will face different challenges. Despite the challenges, we try to do our best.
Currently, we've served more than 3,000 people. We estimate that the number of people will increase to 5,000, so we are very grateful to all the volunteers who have come to help us. We are carrying out the vaccination program together.
Besides helping out at MIECC, we also go to a medical center and a hospital to provide services. Our volunteers are serving at these 3 places.
Among the volunteers, some of them have brought their entire family to come serve.
Since my father and mother have come here together, I want to come and help out. In fact, other people worry for us. But I think we should contribute to society, so I choose to come here to serve.
I think it runs very smoothly. The second vaccination is running orderly. Many NGO staff members have provided much help.
Volunteers
here have been very helpful, and they directed and they have helped us along, even from the first dose, right? So they guide us, and so it's pretty good. Yeah, very well organized here.
As the volunteers provide help, they hope Malaysia can reach herd immunity soon to stop the pandemic.
At the Kuala Lumpur hospital, medical staff need to use a hand trolley to transport the oxygen tanks each day. Each tank weighs 150 kilograms, which made the work very tiring and a strain on hospital personnel. When volunteers heard of this problem, they immediately rented a forklift for the hospital to use and donated 6 racks to hold the oxygen tanks.
The road is uneven, which makes pushing the trolley with the oxygen tank very difficult for hospital workers at the Kuala Lumpur hospital.
They have to push the oxygen tanks about 150 kilos each oxygen cylinders from our department, from the store to the department, and it takes a very big effort for them to push the oxygen tanks on a small wheel, okay, to get to the department, and they have to they have to do that a few trips, okay, and 2 or 3 times a day.
When Tzu Chi volunteers heard of their situation, they immediately rented a forklift to help the hospital move the tanks, and also donated 6 tank racks to reduce their burden.
From the storage area to the hospital is a very long ways away, as this forklift can help them.
Despite the difficult situation of the pandemic, saving lives remains at the forefront as we all join forces to endure this battle with COVID.
Kelantan Tzu Chi volunteers work with young people to complete packing 250 boxes of snacks in just a few days. These gift boxes were later presented to the children living in 6 COVID quarantine centers. During the pandemic, these children who received the gift boxes marveled at the childlike designs and messages which each box contained. Also, they really enjoyed the special gifts inside. In this studio, Tzu Chi volunteers are working with locals to prepare heartwarming surprises. Positive phrases are written on the box along with cute cartoons, and a variety of snacks and biscuits are added finally.
It feels very fresh and good because we can give them love and warmth by drawing. For the children in the quarantine center, you have to hang on.
250 boxes of snacks, which are full of blessings and joy, are ready to be transported to quarantine center with the help of Tzu Chi volunteers for a special handover ceremony.
I am very grateful because the children in the quarantine center don't have many activities, so they will be very upset. We are sure that these children will be pleasantly surprised and happy when they get these gift boxes.
Woon Hye, the initiator of this event, is also keen to share her philosophy of doing good deeds.
I think there are already many groups in the society helping the adults, but children are always ignored. We send these gift boxes to the children in the quarantine center, wishing them a speedy recovery and can face the future bravely.
The warm strength from community comes in the form of simple actions to spread the power of love. Patients with severe pneumonia caused by COVID-19 use prone sleep therapy. Can increase blood oxygen concentration. Here's how it works.
Steady row.
This is the sleep therapy, commonly known as the Superman posture. This is a life-saving strategy for COVID-19 patients, as prone posture can help patients increase the amount of oxygen inhaled in the lungs.
Like the current COVID-19 infection, after causing severe lung inflammation, many patients will develop acute respiratory distress syndrome, resulting in severe hypoxia. If the blood oxygen concentration continues to be around 80, more active treatment will be given. For example, the respirator can be adjusted to the highest settings, and the oxygen content is still not enough. Then we will do sleep treatment on the stomach.
Severely ill patients usually have inflammation in the lungs with fluid accumulation, which affects breathing. If we compare the lungs to a sponge, when pneumonia is severe, some of the air inside is infiltrated with fluid. Just like the sponge cannot absorb oxygen after absorbing water, and hypoxia will occur.
Generally, water flows to the lower part, so the exudate will accumulate in the lungs and the lower part of the back. When we lie down, the heart is on top, so the heart will compress the lungs, so the lungs are almost filled in half with this fluid. Simply put, half of the lungs cannot function. If we let the patient roll over, the water that originally accumulates in the lower half will be far away from those places on the back, so the alveoli in the lungs are not burdened and reopen to inhale oxygen.
The function of the alveoli is to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. In patients with acute respiratory distress syndrome, the capillaries around the alveoli will leak the fluid in the blood vessels. These leaked fluids fill up space of the alveoli, which will affect the operation of the alveoli, affecting gas exchange. The blood oxygen concentration will decrease, affecting the body's organs.
Assuming here on the lungs there are 100 alveoli and 50 alveoli up here. These 100 alveoli are submerged and the water is here. If I turn them over and the water runs toward the 50 alveoli, and there is no water in the 100 alveoli above, now I can change the gas exchange to 100 from 50 to 100.
Tummy sleep therapy can help gas exchange and increase blood oxygen concentration. For patients with severe hypoxia, more treatment time can also be obtained.
That is to say, while I'm waiting for lungs to recover, can I use this method to keep it oxygenated? Did I give him these antiviral drugs? Did I suppress this cytokine? Use steroids? Use biological agents? It takes a certain amount of time for treatment. While I'm waiting for this time, can I use this sleeping position to let my alveoli fight for more oxygenation?
7 or 8 medical staff gathered around the bed, not for major surgery. Everyone is fully armed to treat COVID-19 patients sleeping on the stomach. But because a patient has a tube inserted in his body, turning them over has become a major project. COVID-19 has claimed the lives of countless people. Prone therapy is increasingly being used at home and abroad to treat severely ill patients, increasing their chance of survival. Tzu Chi Texas chapter began distributing food twice a month in the last year. More than 200 families received help. It has inspired many to help out, including local police. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.